Hey, how you doing? So, Pete here from Decent Reviews, and I wanted to take some time today to talk about user reviews and Web3 and why these are becoming even more necessary in Web3 and what you can do to sort of generate reviews and also leverage them for your project's benefit. I was going to turn this into like a big hour-long presentation, but at the end of the day, nobody really wants to watch that, so we're going to go through this quickly. I didn't want it to turn into like a big VSL. I'm going to let this out for free. There'll be some links around this video, depending on where you're watching it, where you can download some stuff to help you action some of the information here. And of course, some links if you want to talk to me, and we can sort of talk about how I might be able to help you improve your project's trust, because that's what this all really comes down to. People buy from brands that they trust, right? And especially when you're talking about, like a crypto wallet, people have got a lot of assets stored in there. You don't really want to sync it to a project that you don't trust, because you could have it drained, as we've seen many times. The Edmund Trust Barometer has cryptocurrency, blockchain, and Web3 as some of the lowest performers in terms of trust in tech. Can you blame them? Not really. A lot of people believe, and you'll know if you speak to people outside of Web3 and you say crypto, blockchain, decentralized even for some people, they immediately think scam. I want nothing to do with it. And you can't really blame them, because there have been a lot of scams in this space. It doesn't necessarily mean that the whole thing is a scam, not at all. We all know that there's a lot of legitimate projects who are really trying to build some cool things that help people. But general consensus is scam. And what that's going to do is it's going to impact the amount of people that we can onboard from Web 2 to Web 3. Penetration is currently very low in comparison to other industries, and it's an uphill struggle. And we need to look at what we can do to bring more people into Web 3 to get a more active ecosystem, and to also sort of just help good projects grow, so that we can all show that this is something that is worthwhile. And like I said, trust is super low, but one of the best ways to overcome that is with user reviews. Now, if you're a brand and you say, don't worry, we're trustworthy, who's going to believe you? No one. If real users who are just like your ideal customer, who's checking out your project, turn around and say, yeah, it's great, people believe it. Here's some stats. 93% of customers consult reviews before making a decision. They lead to an 18% increase in sales. Customers are 63% more likely to trust a brand with reviews. Customers pay 31% more for companies with a good reputation. Every X review star increases revenue up to 9%. Basically, user reviews are the one thing that a new user will come check out and be like, oh yes, this is something that I can trust. This is something that I'm going to give a go to. I mean, think of yourself, and when you go to Amazon and you start searching for something, what's the first thing that you check on that initial results page? It's the star ratings, right? You're looking for that wonderful balance between a good star rating and a reasonable number of reviews, so that there are dozens, hundreds, or thousands of other people who have tried this thing because they're facing the same kind of problems as you, and they're like, nah, this has solved my problems, this is wicked, this is exactly what I need. And you can collect those reviews yourself and put them up on your site, but they hold less trust. There's more intrinsic trust when it's done by a third party, because third parties, like Decent Reviews, they're seen as impartial. There's also a ton of other benefits. So as you see here, when you get listed on one of these review sites like Decent Reviews, you get a backlink. If you work with us to generate lots of reviews, you can get press releases and all of this sort of stuff. All of that is good off-site SEO, because you'll get backlinks from them all back to your website, which helps you rank higher organically. And off-site SEO is more than 50% of the ranking factor for Google, according to Moz.com. So the more that you can do to get those backlinks, the better. I mean, people pay thousands for backlinks, so single backlinks from high domain authority sites. So the more that you can do to generate backlinks, the better for your brand. As I said, third-party reviews are more trusted. They're seen as impartial. If I turn around and I tell you that I am the best person at, playing football in the world, are you going to believe me? No, got a vested interest. I want you to think that I am the best, especially if you'll pay me for that. Whereas if 10, 50, 100, 1,000 other people are saying, no, this is the best thing, you're more likely to believe that. They don't have a vested interest. They are completely impartial in all of this. So there's more intrinsic trust with third-party review sites. With the way that a lot of these review sites, and decent reviews as well, is organised, you can get exposure to new audiences simply by being listed, because there's a lot of comparison pages and templates and things like this that, basically put you side by side some of your other competitors who might be a little further down the road in terms of their development and growth. And also, they're just these third-party review sites, awesome for user-generated content. It comes with a built-in layer of trust, and there's so many more benefits. So this is just an example part of the review. This is from our review of Binance. So you've got the trust element here, 4.2. We're rebuilding all of these soon, so this will all change. You've got some user-generated content down here that you can use in multiple different channels. Again, we've got more on that coming up later on in this little chat. SEO backlinks up here and discovery here. So maybe you're part of BeamSwap. You're then side by side with Binance. So people who are looking at Binance are going to go, hey, what's BeamSwap? And if you look at the category pages where we include details for each of these, you can be compared A, B, C, A to B to C, and actually understand more about them, so that somebody can be like, actually, that one's got the feature that I want. So, you can get leads just by being listed and not having to do much else. So that's really the benefits of it, a very quick and dirty explanation. Let's look at the primary ways that you can leverage to generate reviews. And so this is, sort of step one. Once you've got a listing up, and you can list on decent reviews for free as well. So I'll pop a link around for that as well. But then once you're up and running on the website, how do you generate reviews? So before we actually talk about that, we've got to understand that there are generally two reasons that stop people from leaving reviews. And it's friction and the incentive, like the reason why they would do that. Talk about friction first. So effectively, when you ask somebody to go and leave a review, you're asking them to stop what they're doing to help you. And it's that sort of task switching that is really difficult to overcome. If you imagine, you're scrolling through, I don't know, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, whatever. Your goal is most likely to, look at cute videos of cats or something, right? You're there, you're like, oh, I want to look at these, funny dog videos. I want to look at, people falling over or whatever. Your intention is not to either analyze or review projects and products that you've used. You're there for a good time. And then, somebody's popping up on your feed like, hey, stop. Why don't you go over there, take 5 minutes out of your day and help us? Just leave us a review. And then basically what you've got to do is you've got to click through to that website. You've got to find the review section. You've got to go to the review page, find that review section for their thing. Direct link should hopefully take you right there. Then you've got to go through a multi-step review to leave them. Chances of you completing that, slim. Your intention is not to really do work. It's like chill out. Even if you do it through email, your intention is probably like to clear your emails so that you can get ahead on the workday. If it's in a community, your intention might be to try and solve a problem that you're facing, not to help out the brand. There's a lot of friction in asking people for reviews, which is why a lot of review sites resort to one tried and tested method, which is an incentive, rewarding users for leaving that review. Here's an example of one where we partnered with Bid5. People would come to decent reviews and they could win 10 USDT for leaving a review on Bid5 on our site. It was great. It generated good reviews. It was really good. Great. I'm not a huge fan of this for a couple of reasons, especially when it's a brand incentivized review. So basically, we're the review site, Decent Reviews, and if Bid5 is paying people to come and leave this review, there's a couple of problems. One, it encourages overly positive reviews, not necessarily truthful, because people are like, well, I don't want to say something bad because they're not going to pick me for the $10. When you share it on social like this, it's not necessarily your best customers. I could be someone who's never used Bid5 in the past. I see this and I'm like, shit, I want $10. I'm going to go review them. I got no clue. So my review then holds 0 weight. Not necessarily good reviews. Now, a lot of review sites, even those that are popping up in Web3, have a very poor approach when it comes to moderation. They don't really look at the detail and the usefulness of the review. When somebody comes to our site and there's like, good review, we don't publish it because it's not beneficial for anybody. It doesn't offer the project any insight. It doesn't offer users any benefit of understanding. And, when people are just trying to farm like rewards, it's not good reviews. They're not helpful to anybody. You might get a decent star rating, but as soon as somebody looks into that, they're going to be like, oh no, this seems like it's gamed, which is going to destroy trust even more. Can skew results for the industry as a whole as well. If basically lots of people are paying for reviews, it can just give the wrong impression of everything. And of course, the biggest thing is it costs money, and that's fine if you're trying to get 10 reviews. It's fine if you're doing paying for 100 reviews, but it's going to get to a point where you're thinking, God damn, the cost of getting these reviews in is low. Unfortunately, right now it is a necessary evil. We're working on something at Decent Reviews where it will make you guys paying for reviews completely redundant. I'll share more on that with you one-to-one if you want. Just book a little call with me. But yeah, we're working on something that will make it so that we incentivize people to leave useful reviews, and that doesn't really cost the brands anything. And so, it should really be quite useful for everybody. But yeah, basically it is, incentives are a necessary evil, but we should be looking at ways to get away from it. And so we are. Let's talk about actually generating those reviews. So there's a couple of different ways, and I'm just going to go through them one by one. And like I said, for all of these, we've got templates that are available. There should be a link somewhere around this video where if you click that, you should be able to pop in your email, and I'll send you the link to the downloadables, so that you can just run one of these yourself. Just make sure that you're already live on Decent Reviews, or that you've submitted your project first, so we get you up on the site, so we've got somewhere to direct people to leave reviews. So with emails, it's a very simple sequence. You email them, and I would say don't email them once. Have a sequence of emails, because email gets 20 to 30% open rate, so 70% of the people you send it to are not going to see it. So send 2, 3, 4 emails. We've got, I think it's a 3 email sequence that we've got built out for you. And, it's an email sequence. You can push the incentive if you want, if you have one. Link to the review page, the user leaves a review, really easy. So the pros of this, great segmentation. You can pick people who are power users of your project, so that they know, that the information that they're going to give you back is super detailed, super useful. It's trackable, so you can figure out, how to improve things as time goes by, in terms of language, all of this sort of stuff, what incentives work, what incentives don't. And it's repeatable. With email marketing, you can write an email once and just run it every 6 months. The cons is it's higher friction, because people are, looking at their emails, not necessarily going to want to go leave a review. It's not Web3 native either, which is a problem with a lot of the review generation systems at the minute. There's something coming. But yeah, so that's your pros and your cons. Generating reviews with social media. Here's that Bidfy thing again that we said. Again, it's similar. You share a link to leave a review, mention the incentive, link to the review page, user leaves a review. Great. Same amount of friction as before. Could have good reach if you've got a good social following. Positive social proof, as more and more people sort of engage with this, it will show up in more people's feed, and that is in itself just a way to get more people to engage and trust it. You can boost it with ads. You can boost the reach even further to get even more reviews. Problem here is that there is zero targeting. Like I said before, anybody can come along and just leave a review if they so choose, and it's subject to the algo. If the algorithm doesn't like you, you're kind of screwed, because you'll throw this out there and nobody will see it. On-site CTA, so this is one of our partners that we worked with to rate our services. Go to Decent Reviews, so you can use that. You can put them in widgets on blogs. You can put them within content, as in HTML links, all of that. We often recommend that people leave something in the footer of their homepage to be like, hey, check out our reviews. You've got a star widget, which we'll talk about soon. Pop that there and link it back to your thing so people can leave reviews. So you basically just drop those CTAs on high traffic pages, links to the review page, user leaves a review, or they read the review. Pros here, super easy to implement. You literally just add a link to the page or a widget to a page. Long-term return. So you can basically do this once and just leave it running. And if the traffic for that page is consistent, you should get a couple of people going to do it. Great way to do this is not so much on open pages like this, but within an app. So, once somebody has used features A, B, C, D, you can be like, hey, do you want to go leave us a review? The cons is these usually have very low CTR, and it's easily missed. Banner blindness is real, and people will just ignore this stuff. The other method, and this is one of my favorite methods, and we're building more things like this, is from your community. So Web3, huge on community. And so a lot of those communities are on Discord. So what we built was a little Discord bot. With our partner brands, you can add this to your Discord. A little /command/review brings up this modal, detailed. These have got like word counts in so that people can't just go, it's really good. And it doesn't require them to do like task switching or sort of that, change their attention. Very low friction. They're in the community. This can take 30 seconds for them to do. Super great. Easily segmented because you can understand who your power users are within your community. You can set up a separate channel for them and have it run in that channel. No task switching. Great. Cons is you need to have a good community first. Good engaged community, which a lot of projects just don't have. It's hard to grow these. So let's then imagine that you've been doing all of these and you've managed to get a few hundred reviews. What do you do with them then? It's nice to have. Great, we've been listed on this other site that has nothing to do with this apart from listing us. Sounds fun. Yeah, we can boast about it a little bit, but what can we do? Well, the first thing is trust steals. Like I said before, a huge majority of users look at reviews before they make a purchase decision. So rather than make them do that legwork and go and find your reviews over here and over there to kind of understand, all of these review sites, decent reviews included, will help you create marketing collateral that you can use on things like sales pages, emails, push messages, all of these different things where somebody is going to be considering whether or not they should sign up for your project. And you can just pop something like this on the website, which is like, hey, our users give us a 4.8 star rating out of 5. That's why you should trust us. So it's displaying that aggregated score on the key marketing and sales material, just increases that trust, removes those last minute hesitation barriers, increases conversion rate. Super easily implemented once you've got the reviews. The thing is though, it's very passive. This is not an active thing. You can't go out and push this. With these things, you leave them on the site and they will increase conversion rate, proven to, but you just kind of then like, right, now I've got to do something else to drive traffic to that page. What you can also do is something we'll get onto in a minute, but they also help increase visibility. So whether it's on the listing site itself or in organic marketing, these little elements, like you'd look at them, you don't think of anything, like you just like, yeah, whatever, it's, wow, they got 5 stars, wonderful. But the reason I just included these two is for some reason our reviews of Mirror have not been indexed by Google yet, so I've just resubmitted that. But which one of these stands out more? If these were for the same thing, this catches attention more. Having a star rating, everybody is used to looking for star ratings to understand how good a product or a project is. Simply having it show up in places where you're compared against others, so listing sites, Google results, all of this sort of stuff, is enough to sort of get that initial bit of attention and get that initial click. It just attracts more eyes. And you can use it in things like ads, more on that in a second, and all of this. And just basically, people love star ratings. It's a very, very quick, easy to understand method for them to understand whether or not like you are trustworthy. They'll then go do more research into you, but for that initial sort of like hook of attention, incredible. And if you've basically got the same thing 3 times or 3 different competitors, one with a star rating, 2 without, who are you going to go check out? It's the one with the star rating. So no contest. Again, it's a little passive, but long-term benefits from this one too. So user-generated content. Now this is a really cool one in my opinion. You can use specific review elements like actually the words, the phrases, the content that somebody has left in other marketing collateral to really just add that extra level of detail, that human element that really just builds trust. Testimonials is essentially what this is, which I'm sure you've seen. So you get all of these ads like this, like oh look, we got 5-star rating. That's on Trustpilot. It's not Web3 though. You want to go with a Web3 trust and reputation service. Our account managers are here to help do that. That's all BS that the brand's written. I don't really care about that. What I care about is what this guy who has used surety bonds actually thinks. That gets my attention. It's very fast and efficient from time to time. That's a bit of a weak review that they've used. But beside the point, by taking these elements, this user-generated content, you've got a couple of different options here. So you can just pull things like this, and you can use like an image and a little snippet, and you can segment that and target it specifically for different cohorts of your audience. So if you know that like these people over here really enjoy this feature and they really want that feature, you find some reviews that talk positively about that feature and you serve ads to those people. You can also then take similar elements, use that in email marketing. You can use it in your community for people who haven't yet signed up for the actual paid version. They're so flexible. You can use these kind of reviews in 101 different ways. They're low effort to create because the work is already done at this point. You just need to search through and sort of prioritize what goes where. And the language that these people use speaks to customers like them. It's not like it's this really dull thing coming from the brand. It's coming from other customers. It really speaks to people. The cons is it does require good detailed reviews first. Without good detailed reviews, this bit is kind of impossible. But yeah, it is one of the most beneficial things for reviews. The final thing, which in my opinion is the best way to use reviews, is for feedback and research. My dog is going crazy. Come on, mate. He's crying at me. So, feedback and research is, in my opinion, the true value of user reviews, and it's not leveraged enough by a lot of people. So 10 years ago, I started off 12 years ago, I started off as a copywriter before moving into growth strategy. The biggest wins that I had time and time again came not from us sitting in an office and deciding what we should be talking about and how we should be talking about it. It was going and analysing the audience. Now, in an ideal world, you go and you call customers and you say like, hey, what do you like? What do you dislike? And you'd ask some open-ended questions. Do this, but it's really difficult to do, especially at scale. If you want like, hundreds or thousands of pieces of feedback. Review sites are incredible for this. You can get detailed insight into customer opinions about what they like, what they dislike, the pain that they feel, the transformation that they achieved, but importantly as well, the language, the way that they talk about these things. What you can do is, I always pull as many of these, like I literally go through these reviews, pull out things that I find interesting, put them into a spreadsheet like this, and what I'll be looking for is things that pop up more often. The more often something pops up in reviews, the more important it is to a wider section of your audience. And what you can then do is you can use that to inform future marketing efforts and future improvement of the product and project. So basically, if everybody, a large majority of people talk about feature A being the most useful thing, you're like, all right, so how can we do more with feature A? How can we, improve it? If people talk about they're disappointed that it doesn't have feature B, then you look at how you can implement feature B to please people, bring more people in. If a majority of people speak about a specific pain point, that's the pain point that you put in your marketing to say, we solve this pain point. People are generally not that unique. It is, people within like a set job role or who have a set goal in mind, a lot of people struggle with similar things, and they talk about those problems in similar ways. If you can target your marketing to target those specific pain points and talk about them in the ways that your audience does, they're going to think, this service, this project, this product, it gets me. It understands my problems. It can solve them. And there's that, sort of trust that's built there. And then obviously you bolster it by using these kind of little trust elements here. But this is the most valuable thing. And I can definitely help you generate those users, but then also analyze those results, because I've been doing it for years and it's helped plenty of brands scale up their operations. One issue with it is it's time consuming, really time consuming, because it does take analysis and understanding and just a good strategy in place on how to use it post collection. But yeah, that's the quick and dirty guide to user reviews. If you do want user review generation templates for all of those different channels, there'll be an opt-in around this. If you want help, there'll be an opt-in around this. And if you want to submit your project to Decent Reviews to get listed and then kick everything else off, there will be a link around this video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. It'll be on the little help link that I pop out. But yeah, in the meantime, have a great rest of the day. I'm going to go see what my dog wants, and we'll catch up soon.